Hi everyone. Well, welcome to this second day of training and this third session of coding. I hope you had a great day yesterday, and we are going to see different things today. Yesterday I really wanted you to grasp how to really integrate with XRP Ledger from an SDK perspective. So we saw different transactions with the payment and the NFTs. And today I wanted to do something a little bit different. Still integrating with XRP Ledger, of course, but we are going to see how we can use like a browser wallet. And because we just had the session with Florent, I thought it would be great to continue with this and to see and to make you integrate. I want you to integrate with GemWallet using a React app. So the quick content about this session, I'm going to talk about the tools that we'll need during this session. And then we're going to write the code and integrate with GemWallet. And we are going to do something, well, things which we did yesterday, such as sending a payment, creating an NFT, creating an offer. So you can easily relate to what we did, but in a different manner. And you'll see the difference, how it is to use the SDK, how to use the browser extension. And so you can then compare and see what you want to use in your future projects. Right, so let me tell me if you really have a question or so during this session. Don't hesitate to interrupt me. It's interactive, so feel free. So the tools that we'll use are very similar to what we had yesterday. We will use Node because that's a React app, so we need to use Node to run it. Visual Studio Code, I think it's still a great IDE to develop JavaScript, TypeScript code. GitHub, so use the same repository as yesterday. So we'll use, of course, GemWallet. So please go to the gemwallet.app website, and there you should see like a download button where you can download the app and have it in your browser. So you need to use Chromium, so it will be like Google Chrome or Brave, for example. So make sure to use those browsers. I think so Firefox will not work. Make sure to use Chrome or Brave. Gregory, let me know. Could you fork my repo? Yeah? All right, so also you can create a branch there, and then you can clone it locally into your MacBook or laptop. So tell me when you have downloaded the GemWallet and when you're ready also, Gregory, with the repo locally. Is that okay? That should be easy. I think the download takes like a few seconds. And there, so I think it's good to pin your GemWallet extension so that it doesn't disappear and you have to open like a small window. You know, like if, let me go like this, you know, you can pin it like here. So you have MetaMask, GemWallet, and other extension here. Otherwise, you need to open this like puzzle icon. So if you open this puzzle icon, you have those pins. Click on it, and then the extension will stay in the browser here. Okay? Could everyone download the GemWallet app? Yeah? Gregory, you're okay with the repo clone locally on your Mac and GemWallet downloaded? All right. So really, again, that session is to understand how to integrate with GemWallet using a React app. So we'll see how easy it is, we'll see how to send a payment, we'll see how we can mint NFT. The NFT features are new with the version 3. It has been released like very recently. So actually for me as well, it will be a new learning because I haven't tried it yet before. So we'll see that together. And we'll see, depending on time, if we can do like many transactions such as payment, create NFT, create an offer. We'll see as well other transactions such as trust lines or other which are supported by GemWallet. We'll see. Yeah, I think once we understand how to do a payment, again, that will be, I think, very easy to do the rest. This course is not a React course. So you can ask me questions later if you have questions about React, but I'm not going to teach like deep the knowledge about React. And it's not like a CSS or library component course. So I've created a project for you. So it's like a skeleton like I did yesterday with the starter. So I created a Vite app, and we'll see that in a minute. So hopefully that that starter app will make things much easier for you, and we will only focus on integrating with GemWallet. We'll create the forms and we'll create the buttons and click, and then GemWallet will open. Any questions so far? All good? So what I want you to do, let me also put this in a big screen, that will be better. What I want you to do before we start coding is that let's go to the Faucet, like we did yesterday, to create a new testnet account. And then we'll use that account inside GemWallet. So Gregory, let me show you quickly because you were not here yesterday. So to go to the Faucet, you need to use this URL, xrpl.org/xrp-testnet-faucet.html. You could as well, yeah. But I thought that maybe you can start from scratch, with a new wallet. And also that's a reminder for you to use the Faucet, to go there. That's why I did that. But you could as well use the ones from yesterday, no problem. So make sure as well that you choose the testnet network, all right? You click then on Generate Testnet Credentials. And in there, for you, Gregory, so we have some information, the public address, starting with an R. That's the one you can share to everyone in the world. And so you can check, for example, your balance using that address. You can check the NFT you have, everything regarding that account. The secret, starting with an S, that's the one you never want to share with everyone. Otherwise, your funds are at risk. We have a balance, so the Faucet gives you 10,000 XRP, which is more than enough to do everything. A lot of testing. And then the sequence number of the account, that's something we can skip for now. It's less important. But let's focus on this address secret. So take the secret from the Faucet. And then in GemWallet, when you first open the app, I suppose you can import a wallet. So I'm not sure because I already have some accounts there. There must be like a button import or something like that. This thing? Yeah. Okay, so you can add a wallet like this. So let me enter my password. Wait, sorry. I need to first copy my secret, and I will reopen GemWallet. So plus, confirm my password. So here, import a new wallet. I think that's what I need to do when I have already a secret key. Otherwise, if you create a new wallet, I suppose there will be a mnemonic, so 12 words that you need to secure, to save somewhere safe, right, and never share again with anyone. So I'm going to do import a new wallet because we use the Faucet. In there, we need to choose the family seed again, which starts with an S. Okay, make sure to choose that. I'm not going too fast. It's okay. All right, all good? Gregory, you good? Yes. Yeah? So family seed, next, enter the secret seed that we just generated with the wallet, add seed, and now I have my second, well, you see BELF here, same address. So I'm going to choose wallet 2. Make sure as well on the top right corner that you select the right network. I suppose by default it's the main net, but we need to choose the test net, so make sure to choose the test net. Are you okay here? I see. So import a wallet, family seed. Yeah, you can, or you can use the Faucet to generate a new wallet. That's the same. All good? You're good? Yes. Copy the secret. Family seed. Next. Seed. Ouais, c'est pareil, ça marche aussi. Right. So we are finishing some wallet importing there. Is everyone okay with the creation of the wallet, the importation of the wallet? All good? All right, so I'm just waiting. Okay, so you have, make sure to choose also the test net at the top, otherwise the account is not activated. Okay, so you should see, if you created a new wallet, you should see the balance of 9,990 XRP. All right? All good, so I'm continuing, so let's move on. So if you go to the repo that I created yesterday, you will see that we have the apps directory. Actually, let me show you Visual Studio Code. So we have the apps directory, okay? And in there, we have GemWallet. That's another app that I created, okay? That's a vite.js application. That's a React app. Tell me if you all see it. All good? All right, so now if you have all run yesterday npmi, so I think you should have the dependency installed. So you go into the apps, you cd into apps and GemWallet. So here I'm at the root, cd apps and GemWallet. All good. And then you run npm run dev. This is going to start the server, and we are going to see the application running on port 5173. Okay, so again, it's a Vite application. It's a very, very nice framework to run a React app, and I really advise you to use it instead of create React app, for example, which is slower. Can everyone see that when you run npm run dev? All good? Yeah. So if you go to localhost on port 5173, you should see this. Tell me if you don't see it. So when we have to copy something into GemWallet, make sure to copy it before opening the extension. Otherwise, you have to reopen. Yeah. All right. So I think in the meantime, while we are ready there, what you can try to do is try to do a simple payment, because I think this is something that they just integrated. So we can send a payment. You have the send here. Okay. In here, so you can take one of the addresses that we used yesterday, the public address. All right. And for you, Gregory, you can create a new account on the testnet, on the Faucets, sorry. You create another account and you use that public address. And you enter that recipient address. Let me do the same as well on the Faucet. I'm generating a new testnet credential. I'm copying the address. I'm entering my password again. Clicking on send, I'm entering the address. The token is XRP, that's the only one I have in my account. I can enter, let's say, 10 XRP. I think this amount here is in XRP, not in drops. We'll check that in a minute. And we can enter optional fields. We haven't seen that yesterday, but basically memo is like a string that you can attach to a transaction. Let's say, I don't know, to buy bread or something, just like a small string to add more context to the transaction.
What is the size, max size of the string?
256 bytes, I think. Yeah, so it's not like a very long string. It's an array. You can include multiple strings, but those are short. And the destination tag, is everyone okay? Could you run everything okay there?
Ouais, je suis en train de...
Great, so we are on the same page now. So let's move on to the React app. Let me talk a little bit about the code. So GemWallet here. So we have mainly the SRC, the source directory that we'll need to touch. Okay. In there, so it's like you have like some main files, like basic files, which are created when the Vite application is created. So we have the main.tsx. This is where we'll import the root of our application. We have app.txs. App.tsx, so you will not have to touch it, but this is like, again, the main entry point, let's say, of the application to make things easy. And again, you don't have to touch it. What I've done is that I've made it simpler to display the right component when you choose an option in the drop-down. So let me show you in the UI. If you go to the UI, that's part of the app.tsx. Okay, we have the hello GemWallet, the title, and the drop-down here, which is in the code. Let me take the code here. So the heading, hello GemWallet, and the select, which is the drop-down. So for now, I've included 4 options, so 4 text that you can select in the drop-down. The first one is the example that contains an example code of how you can use the different libraries that I've included in the project, and I'll go through them in a minute. And then we have different other components. That's where you have to code, where you have to build the form, you have to build the integration with GemWallet. That's the exercise. The first one is send payment, and that's the same thing as what we did yesterday, so that will, hopefully that will be a bit more clearer. And then mint NFT, that's what we did as well yesterday, and create NFT offer. So based on the value that we chose, in this function here, get component, I'm returning the right component. All right? The components that you can see here, example, send payment, mint NFT, they all start with a capital letter, are included in the components directory up there. All right? These are the directories that you will have to touch and update. Okay, so by default, it's showing the example. And if I go to send payment, that's the to-do, that will be your exercise. Same thing for mint, NFT, and the others. And we can create more files and components if we need to, if we have time. All right, so let me show you quickly how it works. I mean, what this example does. It's very simple, but that showcases how to use the dependencies. It's a first name and last name, so Florent Uzio. And you have the submit button, so when I'm clicking on submit, it's just creating a pop-up, an alert, displaying the content of those fields and making sure they work. So we'll use the same logic in send payment, mint NFT, but then we'll call the GemWallet API instead. All right? Any questions so far? I'm not going too fast. And by the way, who has React experience here? Okay, all right. All right, so for those who don't have React experience, please tell me, don't hesitate to stop me if there are things which are really unclear or weird. All right, okay? Something else I want to show you is the is-installed property that is returned by GemWallet. So if you remember, Florian in our previous session showed us in the sample code the is-installed property. Okay, so he was starting the on-click handler by if is installed. So this is to make sure that the GemWallet extension is in your browser. Okay, so that's what I'm displaying here, just as an example. Okay, it does nothing else than just showing the Boolean value, true or false. Is GemWallet installed? Yes. How I'm doing it? I am using a context in React. So for those who are not familiar with React, usually the way it works is you create components, okay? And you pass some values to those components. So let's say you have just a text and you want the value of the text to be dynamic. What you would do is that you would pass the text you want to display to the component. So you have, let's say, text 1, title equals books. Text 2, title equals XRPL Commons. Okay, so context here, avoid to pass the props to each component, especially if they are deeply nested. You don't want to have like a long chain of 5 components, for example, and you need the information from the component 1 inside the component 5. To make it easier, we use context. In that way, you can access the value from that context anywhere in the components, even if it's nested 10 level deep. Okay? So this is what I'm doing here, basically. So that's the context file. And because we want to check most of the time that, well, every time probably, that GemWallet extension is installed, I'm doing that check in that context that then I can reuse in all my components. So that will be send payment, mint NFT, create offer, create trust line, send an account set, etc. Okay? So I don't want to go really into the code here. You can ask me questions later if you want. But basically, I'm checking the is installed value from GemWallet API. So this one here comes from GemWallet API. So you would import it from GemWallet API. This is a promise. So it's an async function. So we need to wait for the response. And once it's there, I'm just setting the value of that response inside my context so I can reuse it in other components. And that's how, in the example component here, component directory examples, I can then use what we call a hook to extract that value, is installed. And I can display it in a text, in a text component here. It's basically, if the value is true, I display yes. If the value is false, I display no. Any questions so far? Is it good? Yeah? All right, so quick things about the libraries that I'm using. I am using for the component libraries something called Chakra UI. It's a very great library actually that I recommend using. So if we go to their website, you see that you have plenty of components available. Theming is very easy. So let's go to the components, for example. You have components regarding the layout, some box, center. You have some components regarding the forms, etc., etc. So that's the one I've used, which I think makes developing an application much easier than having to use like tags such as div, p, etc. You can have more features much more easily. So that's what we are going to use later. And that's part of my example.tsx component. So we have very easy component. I think that their name are self-explanatory. Text, just want to display text. We have a code here if you want to sort of style a text in a code way. We have stack that allows to have a layout, basically to easily manipulate a layout if we want to order the content of that stack in a horizontal way or in a vertical way. Here I'm using, for example, that's by default horizontal, but I think here, yes, so stack, it would be a column because I want my label and my input field in, one on top of the other. Let me go back to my app. So I want my first name first and then my input text field below. So that's you can use the stack. And we have flex. So that's again a very nice component to have to display things in a flex way. So you have access to the flex properties, direction, center, etc. And a button. The button submit that we can see here. And when we click it again, we have the alert. So let me show you the alert. So usually on buttons like that, you have an on change. So this is handled by another library called React Hook Form. Okay, so that we use here. And this library exposes a hook called useForm that will handle those onChange and other functions that we need for text field or number field or etc. In the background. I wanted to use it again, so to avoid having for you to build it, to make it easier. I hope that will be easier. You can let me know after the session. But basically, that abstracts those onChange functions that we need to write. So here, basically when I click on the submit button, you see we have a form tag here. And when I click on it, we call that handle submit function, which is actually written by useForm. And we need to use the submit handler, which is another function here that calls the alert. And there I'm just stringifying the object that is written by the form. All good so far? I hope that's easy. So Chakra UI, React Hook Form, GemWallet API, those are the main libraries that we will use during that session. So feel free to try the example, make sure it works also for you. And then, so the exercise is to go to send payment. Sendpayment.tsx. And this is where we have to write an equivalent code to the example.tsx, except that in the submit handler function, we will not use the alert, but we will use the send payment function provided by the GemWallet API. So it will be very similar, except the submit handler and except the form that we have below. Here I have a first name and a last name. We will need for a payment, a destination, and an amount. So we need to replace those names, those labels, destination, and amount. Do you have any questions so far before we move on to the code? Is everything clear? Yeah, all good? And actually, that will be also my first time doing the send payment using GemWallet v3. I was doing it with v2, so let's see. That'll be good. Challenging, yeah. So, one thing I can also add during the use form to give more details about use form is that you need to type the fields which will be in the form. So that way, you can, after use form, you can open this inferior superior signs, and in there you define really the type of the form. So in my example, I created a type called example form state, which defines that we have a first name and the last name of type string. And this is then how I can access, I can sort of spread the property like onChange to the input fields using the register function. And the register function, because I specified the type in useForm, will allow me to autocomplete the name of the field. See, so when I start typing register and the two brackets, it gives me first name, last name. So what we'll need to do for the send payment is using the, I think, payment request type provided by GemWallet API that will give us amount, destination, source tag, and others. Then we'll see what we can have. All good? All right, so now let's go to send payment. And again, here the goal is not to be nice, so if your application is not very beautiful, it's fine. What we want is to have something functional working, okay? So let's start by using, use form. Oops, no, that's not this one. We don't want to create a function. We need to use the use form from the library, so we're just going to import that. I'm going back to my example. So don't hesitate to go back to the example as well to do some copy-paste. That will be probably easier. So go back to send payment and import this. At the beginning, the submit handler, we won't use it. So we have the use form now. And also, yeah, that's the send payment request type actually. So let's import it as well from GemWallet. Send payment request. Okay, send payment request here. If we look into that type interface, we have the amount, destination, memos, and other fields that are part of the payment transaction. And this, what we see here, is part of the GemWallet API. All good? Yep. Okay, so then we need to start creating the form. Actually, yeah, we can do it like this. So we have the text here, so send payment. I'm removing the to do. And there we need to start importing the form. Okay, so the form label and the input. So we can go back to the example again, and we can use like the stack that I created here and form control. So go to the example, copy paste this part, which is below the form. Tell me when you're good. Just the form part for now with the first name. And then when you copy it, let's paste it into our component here, the send payment. All right. So we have like an error here. It's basically in React, you cannot have multiple components at the same level. So we need to wrap them into another component or a fragment that we say. So you see if I include something empty here, the error should disappear. Right. So in the stack here. So now the formatting happens correctly. And it's still red because we need to import those components from Chakra UI library. Okay. So let's import that stack. Let's go back to my example. That will be faster. All right, so let me import quickly the stack, the form control from Chakra UI. Chakra UI React. We need to import form control, the form label, and the input. Okay, do you all have this in the send payment.tsx file for now? So yeah, stack, form control, stack is just a way for us to make it nicer. Okay, what really matters is the form label and the input. That's where we'll enter the amount. So here first we can change by defining the destination. And you can see that there is a nice auto-completion in the register function. We have the amount currency, the destination, the fees, etc. Whatever we want to enter in the JSON request, basically. You remember yesterday we were preparing the request every time. This is sort of the same thing. You prepare, you enter the fields you want. So here we need the destination. Take your time. We're not in a rush. I want this to work. First, I quickly want to include a stack here because that, again, that will allow us to have a nicer display. So you can do that same way as we did in the example.tsx. I just added a stack here. That's all, just to space a bit more the amount and destination field and the title here, text, send payment. Okay, so once this is done, we should have, if you click on the drop-down send payment, you should see the first field, destination. Now we're going to do a copy paste because we want to create the second field, which is the amount. All right. So we're just going to, actually, let's update the ID first here. We're going to do destination. We copy the form control, only the form control. Oops. And we passed it below with an ID of amount. And here, when you define, when you use the register function, we want to specify the amount property. So just copy this form control and just change the ID with the amount and the register function with the amount there. Tell me when you're good. And you can see that in the application, you should have, actually we need to change the label as well, amount. And you should have two fields again, destination and amount. Okay, tell me when you're good. So now you have this. Let's add a button. So below we can add a button, which is provided also by Chakra UI. So let's say submit. We need to import it. Let's first import it from Chakra UI. So add it to the import above. Here, first line for my code. So we have a submit here, okay? And make sure to type it as submit. All good? We can style that button. So if we go back to the example.tsx, we can take, for example, background color, the cyan color, to give it a bit more style. All right, so we have this submit in cyan color there. All good. So for now, if we click on it, nothing happens. That's normal. All good. Did you all add the button there? It's fine. Yeah. Good. No, yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. So now let's see that we can get those value of destination and amount inside our state. So let's wrap the components into the form. So let's wrap the stack where you have the fields. So in my case, that was line 13. Okay, we have the form here. And I think, so we have on submit. This is where we'll need to use the handle submit function with our function that will display the value. Let's say we'll do the same alert than before, okay? So create the form on submit, and you can always take the example if necessary. Okay, if you can just copy it. We'll just have to change the submit handler here. So in my send payment file, write this form. Then we'll have to write a function that will allow us to, for example, show the value of the amount and the destination in an alert. We'll just start with an alert first, okay? So the same way as I did before, you can take the example. You can copy the submit handler, for example. We can rename it to submit payment. The name doesn't really matter. We will need to import the submit handler from the React hook form. That's a type. And in there, we need to again specify the type of our form so that the send payment request, so that the values there that we receive are of correct type. And finally, we include the submit payment inside the handle submit function that we got from use form hook. And do not call that function. It's just a reference to that function. Okay, so don't add parentheses after the submit payment function here. Okay, so I repeat. We created this submit payment function here. that will allow us to get the values from the form. And for now, we are just displaying them in an alert, in a pop-up, just to make sure that things work for now, we get the correct values. So again, what I did, form on submit, handle submit, and the function submit payment that we created here. Is everyone okay? Are you all good? Yeah? So if you go to the app, then if we are fine, if you type like destination R123, an amount of 100, if we click on submit, we can see that the values are correctly set in state, and we have them, destination and the amount. So we can then move forward and start using the GemWallet APIs to send payment. Can everyone see? Let me go back there to show you the code again. Can everyone see that pop-up in the browser?
I have a pop-up.
Yeah? Right, good. Cool, so that's where also the nice thing arrives. Now we'll interact with the XRP ledger via the GemWallet. So we don't need that alert function anymore. Oops. So we can comment that for now. And there we'll use the send payment function from GemWallet. I think that's called this way, send payment. So import it from the @GemWallet API. At the top. In the submit payment function, call it, and that returns a promise. So we need to do a then response. We get the response. And we can probably console the response. So we have an error here. Yeah. I am stupid because I need to, of course, pass the payment object that we got with the values. So first, let's prepare, as we did also yesterday, let's prepare the payment. So constant payment, that's of type payment. And I think maybe GemWallet also exposed that. You don't expose it, do you, Thibaut?
Payment type?
Yeah, payment type.
Request should become like that.
Ah, it's also there. Okay, yeah, I can use that. Okay, send payment. Yeah, it's okay there already. Send payment request. Okay, so we need the amount, which is values.amount, and we need destination, which is values.destination. From there. And finally, we pass the payment constant that we created to the send payment function from GemWallet. I repeat, we prepare the object, the payment object, which is of type payment, and GemWallet called it send payment request. So we have two fields which are required, the amount and destination. And we got the values from the values constant here. From that function.
Just keep in mind that the amount does being dropped. So
okay, so all right, so here.
yeah.
Okay.
XRP is being dropped.
Yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, because I did that in the UI, and the UI you automatically convert, right? When you send in the UI. Yeah, okay, all right. So we need to, that's a, yeah, You require type amount. That type amount, there's a string. Okay, so what we'll do, yeah, okay, that's correct. So actually, when we'll enter that in the amount field, we'll just make sure to add 60 after that to make sure it's in XRP. I think that's the easiest way. All right, am I missing something, Thibaut, or is everything looking good? I think everything is looking good. Just checking. Okay. Is everyone at the same step? Could you create that function? Could you create the payment object? And then using the send payment function from GemWallet? Yeah? Aurélien, you're good? Yeah, ça va? All right, so let me try also myself. And I'm going to my button here. So I want to send, let me create another account with the Faucets. I'm generating credentials using that address.
It's some tolerance to error. It allows one time.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so my GemWallet is opening. Entering my password. It's in drop, yeah. So we need to add a 60. You can do that in the UI or you can do that in the code as well. It's after that, you know, you need to tweak really the UI. You need to tweak how things are working. So that's really like a basic. And then you need to understand. I mean, the amount can be in XRP, so that would be a string, if you remember what I explained yesterday. Or the amount can be an object if it's a token. Any issued token on the ledger, that will be an object containing the issuer, containing the currency, and containing the value. And this time the value will be not in drops. If it's like a euro, digital euro, you want to send 2, you write 2, and that will be 2 euro. That won't be in drops. So yeah, if it's a string, that's drops. Not. Let me confirm that. Transaction in progress. Transaction accepted, close, and done. We have sent a payment using GemWallet. And so you see, it's really just like 2 lines of codes here using the wallet API. So it's even faster than the SDK, actually. Is everything okay? Could you submit a payment there? All good? You could check it in the Explorer. Yeah. So let me quickly show you something for everyone. So I have my account in GemWallet. Let me see if I can copy it. Yeah, I can copy it. I'm going to my Explorer, test.testnet.xrpl.org. I'm entering my address in my GemWallet, and I can see that I've sent 100 XRP here. That's my transaction. 100 XRP to the account that I created in the Faucet. All good? Marco is okay? Is everything okay?
Yeah, I have a typo, but yeah.
Have a typo? So that's very simple, and I think so. We have a bit of time. And another challenge that we can do is like to mint an NFT. And we can use the new function from GemWallet to mint an NFT. When everyone is okay with that, if nobody has any issue, then we can try that. And we can use then another file, mintnft.tsx. That's where we'll have to write very, very similar code, except that we'll have to change the fields. So to include, for example, the URI. And yeah, we'll check what other fields are necessary. And we'll use again another function from GemWallet that's probably going to be called mintNFT. We'll check together. But let's try to do that. All good? Yeah? So let's start again with the use form here. So we go to mint-nft.tsx in the mint-nft directory. Okay. And here, so let's discover what is the type name from the for the NFT. Let's try mint-nft request. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, mint-nft request. Okay, we import the use form as well from React hook form. We import the use form. Okay, we are good with that. It's very similar, very similar. I'm just doing, again, like slow, and I will copy paste like some bigger portions of the previous code, but that will be very similar. That's in the mint-nft.tsx. Tell me when you're at this stage. The main change for now is the mint NFT request. That's the type that we need to use. All good? So now I'm going to go a bit faster. I'm going to take from sendPayment.tsx the whole return block, including also the stack, button, etc. Just take everything, and you passed it just after the return. Make sure that the return, after the return you have the parenthesis, and the parenthesis is not below the return. Okay, just copy paste this block and let me know when you're good. In the meantime, I'll just import stack. You've done it? Oh, wow, nice. So I'm gonna import everything. Sorry, yeah? Yeah? You could mint an NFT? No, not yet, no? Oh, I thought you were that fast. All right, so I'm just gonna import everything again from Chakra UI, mint NFT, so we don't have some red errors. So inside the app as well, I've included a plugin called Prettier Organize Imports, which means that if an import is not used, it will be automatically removed when you save, if you have the option in VS Code to update the file on save. So that's why, if that happens, don't be surprised. And in the meantime, for those who are waiting, I mean, if you want to keep on going with the code, like, and try to mint an NFT using the URI, and I can't remember if there's another field required. Token taxon, voilà. Include those two fields in the form, and you can try to mint your NFT. And you can use gphi.com as well, like yesterday, to create to use the URI. Okay. So let me update my code also quickly to include the token taxon and the URI. So we have nf token taxon. That will be taxon. And in there we need the URI. Okay, so I just updated the label, and in the register function, the taxon and the URI. Yep, just the URI and the taxon here. And the ID, yeah, we can update the ID as well. So that would be like create NFT, for example. So we would create a function create NFT, which is of type submit handler. That's from the React hook form. Who handler submit? Let me check. Submit handler. And I need to, of course, to specify the mint NFT request. Okay, that's where we get the values. And if we alert that, we should also get the values. Stringify values null2. It's basically allowing us to showcase them in a nice way, Otherwise, they will be just on one string, and it will be harder to read. You okay, Aurélien? It's okay? Let me try. Let me see quickly in my Explorer, in my browser. So we need to go to mint NFT. We have the taxon and URI. So taxon 1, URI, HTTPS, something. And we have the correct value again. Is Is everything okay? Is everyone on the same step? Just a different name for the function, create NFT. And again, I just alert the values to make sure we have them.
How are
C'est
you?
bon?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah?
No, I was waiting to see how you converted X URI.
Oh, right, yeah, I forgot. I totally forgot that I had this. Yeah, my bad, actually. String to X, yeah. So let's use that function here. And we'll use when we prepare the NFT mint request. So constant, let's say, request of type mint NFT request. So the URI will be string to X values dot URI and probably we can do it like this. And the taxon, NF token taxon, that will be values dot NF token taxon. Okay, that's the object we construct, and we use the string to X helpers that I included in the repo that I forgot before. Everything okay here? I went maybe a bit fast. So then let's try to call. I think let's try mint NFT maybe from GemWallet. Mint NFT. We need to pass the request, and same thing, that's a promise, so we'll have a response that we can console log. Okay, so well, let me try if things work for me. Let me take this, copy the GIF link. So let me try this. I'm going back to my app if I can find it. Okay, so taxon and the URI. Yeah. So we have the URI, we have the taxon, the network fees. We can confirm I'm going to mint that NFT. Transaction is accepted. And if I'm going to my account, actually, yeah. I'm going to use this time BitHome because BitHome can show me my NFTs. And I have my NFT there. All right, so thank you everyone for attending this session 3. I'm very pleased that you were able to use React and GemWallet to interact with the XRP ledger and send a payment and create an NFT. So congratulations to all of you.